So how do you live your best life? Well, my name is Marcus. This is Discover Ignite, where we discover possibilities and ignite change. And if you're interested in possibly changing your life, discovering that one thing that can ignite, those dreams, those hopes that you've always had, remember to subscribe. Remember to like this video if you do enjoy this video. But today I want to talk about actually living your best life. How do you go about doing that? Well, the biggest thing is I've talked about, defining your success. I think defining your success is extremely useful, especially in that first step, right? What actually do you find fulfillment in? What do you enjoy in life? What do you want to get out of life, right? At the year, say like you're 80, right? Say if you're 80 years old and, you are looking back on your life, what do you hope you would have accomplished? Now, if you're middle-aged like myself, or you're, 40 years old, or maybe you're even in your early 20s, right? Like, these aren't things we really think about until that question is asked of us. So what do you think? What is on your mind? How do you define success? Write it down, right? Actually sit, turn off all the electronics and sit down and answer this question. How do I define success? And then go from there, right? Figure out what it is that you can incorporate in your life that will help you live your best life, right? And the biggest way to do this is to be happy, right? We all seek to be happy. And the biggest way to do that is to incorporate those things in life that we enjoy doing, right? That pass the time by into that moment where you essentially, you lose track of time and you get excited about what you're doing, no matter if it's a problem that you're trying to solve, or, maybe you're trying to get this thing, you're excited about what other people are going to say or do, and maybe it's an achievement, maybe it's a goal, right? Maybe it's something, maybe it's losing weight, maybe it's something like that, right? There's a lot of different things out there. That's why it's important to define what you see as being successful, and then chasing after those things that you want in life, right? Making the time, making it a priority, and going after it. And I know a lot of people will be out there and be like, I don't know where to look. There's this magical thing called Google, and you can essentially learn anything you want, right? That is the beauty of the era that we're living in today, is the fact that you can do this, right? You can learn anything, and it doesn't take that much. It just takes a little bit of focus, a little bit of prioritizing, and focusing on those things that you want in life. And you realize that there's actually, tons of things out there, and maybe you don't know exactly right now, right? Maybe you don't know how to live your best life because you haven't experienced life, right? And then the next thing I would say to that would be to go out and experience life, right? Go on a random trip. Maybe you don't have a lot of money, but you don't need much. You don't need a lot to go drive perhaps to the next state, to the next town, someplace you've never been. Take up some kind of course that you've always wanted to take, or perhaps go, scuba diving. Something completely random that maybe you've been curious about, or maybe you don't even know that existed, right? We are limited by our knowledge, and to live your best life, you have to also obtain knowledge. After defining your success, right, you want to be able to obtain knowledge. And when you obtain knowledge, you get perspective. When you go through experiences, you get new perspectives. And ultimately, when you get new perspectives, it opens up a lot of doors. It opens up a lot of opportunities for you in life to live your best life, right? To fully enjoy your life by experiencing as much as possible. And you realize, a lot of times you may be working long hours or whatever. Like, I used to work a labor job, so coming home used to be hard, right? You come home, you're tired, you don't want to do anything, and that is the biggest mistake, right? Because the first thing we want to do is, get home, take a shower, do whatever, right? And then plop our butts in front of the TV, right? Not knowing that there's so much more that you can do, and so much more you can achieve by gaining perspective on other things, right? And living experiences. And that's how you can live your best life, right? Is you are limited by your knowledge. And for myself, I was very limited in my life with a lot of things that I did, because I experienced a lot of things, so I did have some perspective, but there's always more perspective out there to get a grasp on, right? And it's taking these perspectives and then sitting and thinking about these things and coming up with how you define success, that you ultimately find the thing it is that you realize you can live your best life, right? And you align those things, you align those goals, those achievements that you want to do in life by doing this, by defining this stuff, by getting those perspectives, and then you have some place to aim. And you just do that, right? Like myself, I want to continuously grow, right? To live my best life is about growth. And I want to do better than I have, than the year before. And to do that, I got to get more perspective. I got to get experience. I've got to, take advantage of my time. And this is one big thing I've noticed is, I see a lot of people who don't take advantage of their time, and they'd rather spend time doing things that are meaningless, right? Ultimately, it's not an experience, it's not something you're learning, you're not getting better at anything, but we waste time just sitting and dwelling and complaining about things when in fact we can take the initiative and go out and do these things and live a full life. That may sound like a lot of work, and a lot of people may not think of this as a good thing, right? But ultimately it is. I'm telling you, like, I've had many experiences, I've learned a lot in my life, and the best thing is that to live your fullest life, where you get most excited is where you find that growth, right? And that's how I could probably best define living your fullest life, is by growing, right? By the growth that you have inside, looking at the potential that you have, because you have so much more potential than you think you do. And a lot of times we'll put ourselves in a box, right? And I talk about this all the time, about putting yourself in a box and identifying yourself as this person that can't do these things, when in fact you can. And it's getting over that hurdle of being fearful of silly things, right? And a lot of times talking about it is easier than doing, right? It takes a couple times for you to push yourself past that comfort zone to where you start getting comfortable with it, right? And even still then, you still have some sort of fear, but you get over it and you are excited about it, and it drives you to want to do more and experience more. And that's how you can live a fuller life, is by finding this continuous growth and constantly going no matter what, and allowing yourself to experience things and to look back, right? When you're 8 years old, reflecting back on your life, man, I did a lot. I left everything on the table. I enjoyed every aspect of my life. Yeah, there's ups, there's downs. These things are going to happen. You're not going to have a perfect life, and things aren't always going to be happy. Things aren't always going to be bad. It's going to have ups and downs. It is a roller coaster. That is life. That's experience. That's what life is about, is the experience, right? But to live a full life, it's about growing and experiencing that growth in whichever way you define success. And when you're doing that, you feel fulfilled, right? And you live a life in which you are enjoying. And maybe this course of action that you start taking, right, maybe it will lead you to opening a business, right, that you love doing, that you love going to work. Maybe you don't so much enjoy life now. Or maybe you write that book that you've always wanted to, because you liked creating books, right, and creating entertainment in some way, shape, or form. I mean, it's limitless, but yet we hold ourselves back because we identify ourselves, and we need to brush past all that and realize that to live a full life, you're going to be up against that fear and that that anxiety to want to go out and do things and be around people and develop relationships and all these other things, right? And for the longest time, I lived the same way, and I felt like I was checking all the boxes, right? And I was, to an extent, right, to what my parents wanted me to achieve, but I wasn't happy, I wasn't fulfilled. And it wasn't until I went out and started doing these things, defining my success, going out and experiencing different things and challenging myself, to where I started growing and really enjoying life and attacking it, right? And enjoying the attack mode, or friendly attack mode, but just enjoying life. And this is how to live life more fulfilled. So you define success and go find that growth, and that's ultimately what is key. So remember, if you do like this video, remember to hit that like button on the way out. Until next time, I will see you guys later.